I'm a boomer. I think I'm a zoomer. I think I'm a doomer. Damn, I'm Montezuma. Okay. EWGWHITE coming with the heat.
I stay fooling with my bot, my tunes will make your speakers hot. Dance floor, hopscotch, baby, do the pop.
Welcome to the Grillcast, the only podcast in the world dedicated to radical centrism. I am your host, Orion, and joining me as always is Micah. What's up, buddy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Another beautiful episode with our beautiful guest from the anime sexual community. We got Joka. What's up, man?
Yeah, it's good to be on. I really like your theme song.
Thank you. That is from the
esteemed...
magnanimous, the esteemed Aggie White. Go check him out on YouTube.
Cool. I might as well say now, you might want to, in the title, you might want to put my username that I've written on the site here, because that's what people most know me by.
Okay, for sure. So we'll go by My Dirt Cup. Is that
accurate? It's actually mid a teacup. It's I didn't spell it properly because obviously tea. It was like a weird thing that I came up with when I was like probably 12 now. And yeah, I don't know how I came up with the mid part, but obviously the teacup is, well, you know, a cup that you put tea in.
Yeah, that's very British. I can tell you're from the UK. Before we start the show, I need to announce to all my grillos out there, our faithful listeners, that I'm going to be taking a about 6-week hiatus from the show starting in the middle of the month. I'm going to be doing this because I bought a Alaskan fishing boat. I'm going to be going out there, and I got some of my rentoids who are past due on rent. And rather than evict them, I told them, look, you're going to come on this boat, you're going to do some work, you're going to catch some fish, and I'm going to be cracking the whip on you, and if you fuck up, you're gone. You and your family are gone. So I'm going to be going and doing that for a while, and Micah will be taking the reins. So if he's not uploading, if he's not doing what you all expect from the Grillcast, you all crack the whip on him.
What?
Are you ready for that, Micah?
What did you say?
You ready for the pressure?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, well, let's just hop right into this, right into the questions here. So, you are a mod of the Love for Anime Sexuals community, and I guess I'd start off with asking you to explain what exactly an anime sexual is.
Well, an anime sexual is somebody who's only attracted to anime characters. So somebody that doesn't like 3D people, whether it be men or women, and somebody who literally only likes anime men and women.
Okay.
And of course, we are a very oppressed group.
Of course.
Yeah, I could see that because, you know, I hear that and I want to oppress you. So I could see how that might happen. I guess I would ask, why are 2D women better than 3D women? What is the appeal of this?
Well, I think the first big point is they don't talk back. They don't talk back, they don't take the kids, and they don't take the house. I mean, in this day and age, that is huge. All you gotta do to be an anime sexual, you buy a body pillow, they won't talk back, they won't argue with you, they won't complain, they won't take your children, they won't take your house, they won't take your nice fancy car in the divorce. I mean, it's like being in love, but you get true freedom.
Well, they might not talk back, but if you're listening to them without headphones on and your parents here, that could cause problems.
Well, you know, a lot of us are landlords too, so we own our own house. We don't live with our parents. Okay. A lot of people seem to assume, you know, that we live in our mother's basements or whatever, but we don't. We have our own houses. A lot of us own other properties, you know, so we don't have to worry about that stuff.
Well, I didn't want to prescribe you a particular situation, you know, in your personal life. I was just saying, well, think about the younger anime sexuals out there.
That is true.
And that's part of the oppression that you all face, I would assume, is having to grow up in a world that, you know, doesn't understand the feelings that you people have.
Yeah, and as sad as it is to say, you know, the community that oppresses us so much is originally what they used to be called as the LGBT. Of course, it's the ALGB now. But the LGBT community would, you know, oppress us, say we're making fun of them, say this whole thing was just some sort of big joke to, you know, mock them.
I actually, before the show, just to do a little of my own research, I went on Sexuality Wiki and looked up anime sexual, and it does say that the point of anime sexuality is to make a mockery of the LGBTQ.
You know, and they say that, but like I said before, the new acronym is ALGB. They're using the fake acronym, so it's clear that they're the ones making fun of the ALGB community.
That's just sad.
Mm,
it's just sad that those low-life trolls would go so far as to make fun of people who never did anything to hurt anyone.
Really, you know, it makes me sick. And, you know, one person I used to know on Twitter, they got suspended now, they're still around on Reddit. He used to call them the LGBT KKK, and I think that is the most accurate way of describing them.
That is incredibly profound.
How poignant.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so I guess I gotta ask for our female viewers, what can they do to obtain the positive traits of 2D women?
Well, there is a thing called anime gender, and it's when somebody undergoes surgery to become an anime character. But oftentimes, you know how surgery is. They come out and they look like Barbie dolls.
Do they like make them? Do they make them into like a flat Stanley kind of thing, or
No, not flats. I remember that book actually. I read it when I was younger. Very good book. But
yeah?
point is, they look like they basically make it so the eyes are big. They got bright colored hair. Usually make their cheeks puffy. But the problem is, at the end of the day, you can't really replicate that look without actually, drawing an anime character themselves. They end up looking like Barbie dolls. Not good.
I feel like because anime sexuals and landlords tend to be, there's a lot of they coincide with each other. So these are high value males who choose the anime sexual lifestyle.
Yeah.
So are you saying that it's impossible for 3D women to obtain this and therefore obtain a high value man?
Well, I think with current technology, the way we're at with surgery, I just don't think it's possible. It's like you'll never be a real anime girl. As hard as you try, you can't. You can't. Even if you make your profile picture an anime girl and like pretend to be them or whatever, when people see your face, they'll see you, and it's like that's not a real anime girl. And you know what they say to them? You'll never be a real anime girl. And it's sad as it is, and it might trigger their dysphoria or whatever. It's just the reality of things.
Yeah, and speaking of technology, we've talked many times on this show about the future development of sex robots, and have even speculated to some extent that they might be modeled primarily after anime women. Like, how do you feel about that? What are your thoughts?
Well, the ones I've seen so far, they usually just look like normal women, at least the ones I've seen. And for an anime sexual to, mate with his waifu, as some would say, a lot of people would just cut... A lot of people would, just cut a hole in their body pillow and just shove a fleshlight in it. But, one of these days, you might be able to get like a full 3D hologram like that Hatsune Miku girl that'll have sex with you. You never know.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's gonna come, a time where all the naysayers might actually, they might turn around once these sex robots become prominent. And when most of them are modeled after anime characters, they're going to have to question their previous comments and mockery of anime sexuals.
Mm-hmm. And yet, when that happens, a lot of straight people are probably going to be thanking us, because specifically, women will have to compete with them. Real women will have to finally compete with anime girls, and they'll have to stop taking the kids, stop taking the house. So, they'll be thanking us. A lot of them, even the super straight, sadly, because I was sort of involved with the super straight movement and I understood their oppression, they come at us and they call us degenerates. But I think once this is all said and done, they'll be thanking us.
Absolutely, because it's competition in the free marketplace of sexuality.
So true. That is so true.
And as we all know, more competition breeds innovation. It breeds competition is good, especially for...
It is a competitive endeavor. A lot of people like to talk about, the rainbow unity and all that, but it's not really. It's all about what is the best sexuality. And while we here at the Grillcast have always supported bisexuality as the supreme sexuality, we can respect what you and your ilk are doing, trying to promote anime sexuality.
Thanks. We all appreciate that very much.
Now, I've got to ask, are there different strains of anime sexual? Like, let's say somebody tries the standard strain and they don't like it. What strain should they try then?
Well, they also have manga sexual, I believe. I haven't read too much into it, but that's when you're attracted to manga characters. But, the problem with that is you might get a paper cut in an area where you don't want to get a paper cut.
That just seems a little too black and white.
That was a good one.
Yeah, see, the thing about being a manga sexual that I think would be really hard is that, once you come on the page, they stick together. You can't access that page anymore. So it's kind of, it's a pursuit of... You're
ruining the book. Yeah, you are. That's the sad reality. You're ruining it. Nobody wants to go to a library, look in the manga section, and find it full of your fucking cum. That's the reality of things. And, although I do respect manga sexuals, it's not fair to, come on public library property. You know what I mean? It's not fair. You can't expose children to that.
I don't know. Homeless people seem to do it a lot.
That is true.
People experiencing homelessness. I'm sorry.
Oh wow! So that's another way that anime sexuals kind of they separate themselves from the rest of the LGBT community, and that they respect the boundaries of children.
Yeah, that is true. We 110% respect the boundaries of children. We even have a section on our, anime sexual, love for anime sexual page, a rule that specifically says no pedophiles allowed. Anyone talking about lolly sexual gets banned straight away. Fuck that shit.
Good. That's
Anime
good to
women are
hear.
real women, so that age of consent laws apply.
Now, does that afford the 3,000-year-old monster girl defense?
You know,
is that heckin' cute and valid, or is that seen as something that's predatory?
it gives me the creeps personally. I'll say that. I try not to pass judgment, because what I will say in general, I think porn in general is bad for you, not just, lolly porn. I think lolly porn and furry porn is the absolute worst. But when I see a lot of people crying about that stuff, they're also kumas themselves, so I think that's a little bit ridiculous. But I will say I find lolly porn, even if it is a 3,000-year-old dragon girl, absolutely disgusting.
I can kind of see that. Let he with the clean hand shoot the first load,
Yeah.
So, as far as this goes, is it just anime, or does Western animation, will that do anything for your people?
Well, I know. Actually, no, that doesn't count. I was going to say that when I was younger, I had a crush on Misty from Pokemon, but then I just realized that was also an anime. I view it as a cartoon because it was on, TV in the UK, but no. I guess, I'm sure there are some people that like cartoon characters, but, I'm sure there's also a cartoon sexual somewhere for, people who, really love cartoon characters like Velma
Like
from
furries.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah. I don't want to lump them in with furries. I'm not a fan of furries. They kind of freak me out. I'll be honest, man. I just don't like furries.
Yeah, they're a gross people.
They're very gross because, when you go to an anime convention, yeah, you're right, it smells. But, if you've heard the stories of, furry conventions, they are dreadful. They do so much weird shit in those suits. A lot of the stuff, they do involve shit as well. As much as I hate to say it. And they'll ruin hotels when they go to conventions.
They're emulating animals,
right?
Is the thing. And as far as I'm aware, typically anime characters are very respectable people.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like I said, you go to an anime con, the worst it smells. People don't shit on the floor. You know what I mean? So you got to respect that, even if it does, smell a little bit because people don't use deodorant.
I would imagine that furries smell really bad because they're wearing a mascot costume.
Right, and those things are hot.
Yeah, those are fucking hot. And so they're sweating, they already don't shower, they have the smell of dog butthole on their dick just fermenting. It's something that's disgusting. And then
sometimes I'm impressed when I think about it because, I'm sure you guys know, when you go a certain amount of time, even if it's just a day without a shower, you get sweaty, you get hot. These people go weeks and weeks without showers, and then they'll wear these big thirst suits. I'm honestly impressed in a weird way, if that makes sense.
I could see that.
Maybe they're trying to, replicate, because you get itchy when you're hot. So maybe they're trying to replicate what it's like to have fleas.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said tell him about Pato 4's grandma. We should do that when we get this sorted out, because that was fun.
How should I introduce that? Someone's grandma?
Okay, they can hear
Okay, so when anime sexuality, we first started the subreddit, we didn't really expect it to go anywhere. The origin story basically is we were all on Twitter, we were all in a group chat, and we were just landlord posting at the time, and we saw anime sexuals go viral, and we're like, okay, let's make an anime sexual subreddit. So we made one, and I didn't think it was going to go anywhere, and I wanted it to go somewhere, of course. So
who wouldn't?
And the way you make something happen, especially on the Reddit where you have subs like Cringetopia that will repost stuff, is you get somebody pissed off. So what I did is I remember I got a comment from a guy called Pato4 on Reddit on a post that I made when the sub just started out. I scrolled through his post history and I found out his grandma died 4 months ago. So
no.
Jesus.
Oh no.
And what I will say to defend myself is if you're telling people on Reddit your parents are dead, your grandparents are dead, you don't care about them. You're fucking whoring your dead grandparents for Reddit upvotes. That's just sad, that's pathetic, and someone truly doesn't care in that situation. So I didn't feel too bad about doing it. So what I said is if you weren't anime phobic, maybe your grandma wouldn't have died, and I linked to the
That's a strong argument.
Like I said, I'm from Twitter mostly. I do things like a Twitter user, and on Twitter, if you guys saw back in the day, if you saw someone's bio and it said someone was dead in the bio, what somebody would do is say, "Hey, how is Jake?" or whoever's dead in the bio in an argument. I'm from Twitter, so that's just how I've known things and how I've known to start arguments. So I was like, okay, I'll say this. And what does he do? He posts it to Cringetopia, And from that, he got 35,000 upvotes, giving us almost like 500 members overnight.
Dude, that's enough karma for like a month's rent.
I know, it was crazy. It was huge. He got so big. I got lots of death threats for that though. Lots and lots of death threats. I have like a full YouTube video of all the compilations of people threatening to kill me and telling me to, kill myself.
We would love to share that.
I do have the YouTube video on my channel now. I can link it to you guys. I'll post it in the chat section on your Discord. Yeah, I got hundreds and hundreds of messages of people telling me to kill myself.
Jesus Christ.
People getting angry at me, coming to my profile, and I did milk it for all it was worth. To be fair, like I kept posting about it until it was basically dead, until people stopped talking about it entirely. I did milk it as much as I could, trying to grow the sub, and I think it worked.
And see, that's how I know that anime sexualism is a radical centrist ideology, is because how it grew and how you use it is, we're gonna piss people off with this.
That's how you grow. Because the thing is, I never imagined once that we would even pass Love for Scalpers, and now we're at like 7,000 members, which is just insane. I never thought it would get that big, and it's weird, but I'm pretty proud of what we've done, if I'm being honest. I can't say I'm not proud, because like I expected it to go nowhere.
It's just such a big tent community we're in. Centrists, scalpers, landlords, anime sexuals.
Yeah, originally we weren't going to make it a Love for sub either. We just found that anime sexual was taken, so we're like, okay, we'll do Love for anime sexuals instead.
Well, that's the thing. That's ALGB, is anime sexuals, landlords, gamers, billionaires. It goes beyond that.
Yeah. Of course, the T stands for Thatcher, my beloved. Of course, living in the UK, my favourite Prime Minister of all time.
QIA, QAnon, incels, alcoholics. We're a big tent party, the radical centrists.
I saw something earlier in the chat that I think definitely I want to hear addressed. This person, Otto, brought up the anime cost.
Oh, the anime sexual holocaust.
Can you explain that one?
Basically, in Nazi Germany, what a lot of people forget is that they say 6 million Jews died, which is true, but the total count was 12 million. So where did the other 6 million come from? Because they don't.
No, let them
Stop
speak.
Laughing,
This is critical information.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
it's not a laughing matter.
That's true. The other 6 million were anime sexuals. And this gets hidden by all the big media, all the big corporations. They try and hide our struggle. And the only country where the anime sexual holocaust is recognized and anime sexual rights are recognized, believe it or not, is Israel, because Jews understand our struggle.
And that's why we ally with them.
Do you have a accredited source for that claim?
Well, like I said, all the big media, they've all censored it. So there's nothing you can do. You can't find it. You have to really, look, you have to scour forums. You have to go on forums like QAnon.win. That's how I found it. I found it from
I was beginning to think this is starting to sound a little bit like a QAnon conspiracy theory, but...
You have to go to animesexual.truth, and they'll lay it all out for you right there.
Well, funny thing is, I only found out recently, but another sexuality that we posted about on Twitter made it to the Donald.win, which was pretty surprising. It wasn't anime sexual. I don't know if I can say this. Well, you guys edit it, so I can say it. But it was another one we created as a group on Twitter. It was rape sexual.
Oh, God.
No, that is probably our biggest host. That got
maybe if you phrased it as unconsensual sexual.
Anyway, that got
sexual.
That made it everywhere. Like, all those big accounts called like criminal tweets, struggle tweets, or like 500,000 followers. It made it there, and it got over almost 1 million impressions in 7 days. Jesus. The account got banned almost straight away, but like it got almost 1 million impressions in like a day.
Grab her by the pussy sexual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we've probably exhausted all the controversial ones though at this point.
Yeah.
We did Floyd sexual back when that was a big issue in the US.
I mean, there's still a certain sexuality that we could endorse that would be very controversial, but we don't do that here at the Grillcast. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't want to step into that, because like how seriously people take that kind of thing, and it's like I'm probably risking getting my address leaked tomorrow if I don't cover my taxes. If I want to talk about, but that's serious. People take that shit seriously. If you want to, they call it MAPS, right? It's the politically correct term for it. And if you do that, if you don't make it, and and if you talk about that on your main account, I'd say you're fucked. And honestly, I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for people that are fucked by doing something like that, because they know how seriously people take it. They know the risks. It's their own fault.
A lot of people would say that anime sexuals are a pedophile enabling movement, but I think that your behavior here today has shown that that's not true. That's slanderous, libelous. It's just disgusting to equate the two, because one's a heckin' cute and valid sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
The other is disgusting.
Yeah, and we've learned from what we now call the LGBTKKK that a lot of other groups that aren't us, a lot of other sexualities, and I don't want to shit talk them, but they like exposing kids to things they shouldn't be exposed to. And in the anime sexual community, that is a big no. Never. We'll never do that.
I'm glad to hear it.
But speaking of pedophilia, I probably shouldn't have said that, because you might have to censor that out. I'm sure that's a demonetizable word. But anyway,
oh, we're not monetized.
We don't do this for money.
Fair enough. But I'm kind of disappointed that guy from the Discord server isn't going to call in.
Oh yeah. Well, he has outside stuff to do.
Reminds me of what I'd say when I was a teenager. If ever I wanted to do something, you just tell him, I'm doing stuff. I'm just doing stuff. I'm busy, I can't do it.
To transition a little bit, I did want to do a defense of 3D Woman, because I myself am not an anime sexual, and I think there's a few things that 3D women do better, and I'd like to see your thoughts on them.
Sure.
So, I've heard your downsides to them, and I agreed with almost all of them, but there are a few upsides. A 3D woman can cook you tendies, they can throw away your piss jugs, wash your cum socks.
That is true.
Is there any hope for the 2D women to ever do something like that for me?
Well, when it comes to the big thing on that list is tendies. I love tendies. I love all sorts of, shit food. I love chicken. I love burgers. But when I want that kind of thing, even though I don't live in the US, I live in the UK. And even in the UK, there's a McDonald's right around the corner everywhere you go. No way that you're traveling more than 10 minutes without finding a McDonald's, even in the UK. So if I want tendies or I want a burger, I just go to McDonald's.
That's why colonization is heckin' cute and valid.
So
right
true.
There is because America's print on the world has been putting burger places everywhere. Every
That's
country.
Right.
Burger, burger, burger. And that's a good thing for everyone.
And what I will say about McDonald's as well, their tendies are very good.
Maybe
we don't actually
in the
have
UK.
them anymore. Yeah, we
don't have them.
Anymore.
They're called chicken selects over here, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have those.
We used to have them, but they discontinued them.
Remember what they took from you.
Remember.
That's sad, because they're so much better than nuggets, at least in my opinion.
Man, the nuggets used to be so good.
I still like nuggets, but I just prefer the tendies.
Another upside to 3D women is that if a 3D woman disobeys you, you can administer corporal punishment and correct the behavior. What can you do to a 2D woman to, fix whatever whatever problems they have?
You write a fan fiction.
That's true, actually, because there is a certain rush you get from, administering corporal punishment to your to your woman.
Here?
You get a certain
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's all right. I'll continue. But you just get a certain rush. I guess you can't get that from an anime character when you're, when you hit your body pillow, you don't feel the reaction.
It's too soft. It's too soft.
It's too soft half the time. If you put her up against the wall and you punch the body pillow, you end up punching the wall and breaking your fucking knuckles.
How do you choke a body pillow?
That's also true. They don't have necks.
So, that guy that you were talking about, Chroma, he says that he's ready and he wants to call in.
Bring him on.
All right, give me just 1 second here. All right, get that invite link. I said, "Do you have a mic?" He says, "Obviously." He's ready. Chroma's ready.
He's very aggressive.
I don't think he liked how you were talking about him.
Oh. Well, I'm glad I brought him on because, he could regret this for the rest of his life not coming on the Grillcast. This is a big opportunity, So it's just,
Facts.
positive encouragement.
All right, I sent him the link.
It says he's on here.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, what's up, Rusty?
Hello, friends, except for pedo apologists, also known as anime sexuals.
So, where did you get that from?
So, in anime, right, there's a prevalence of underage men and women who are constantly sexualized by the Japanese culture and by, reflexive property, all of the people who enjoy anime. So people who enjoy anime are pedos. Weebs are pedos.
May I ask, I just get it from the voice. Are you transgender? I have to ask.
I'm not, but you wish I were.
Okay, I wish you were. I didn't know that before, but fair enough. I wish you were transgender. But anyway...
hold on. I just want to say for the record, and maybe this might alter your opinion a little bit. There is that we did ask him about the lollies, and he completely disavowed.
I did.
Is this an excuse, or do you think that's kind of more or less a ploy?
I will go one step further. I'm not a perfect person, but I will disavow porn in its entirety. I think it is a drug. I think it specifically targets children to get addicted to it because these porn companies know how easy it is to get around age restrictions. I will not just say lolly porn is bad. I will say porn in general is bad and it's a virus.
And yet you're an anime sexual. How does that work?
What do you mean? How does that work? I think your conception of love is warped. You can love someone without, watching porn 24/7.
Wrong.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna say that, don't you have to kind of come to grips with the fact that maybe you're not watching porn, but to love anime women, you are just watching them.
You're fictionalizing them.
That is true. But the thing is, I believe that anime women will be real one day. They will. With the advancement of technology, give it 50 years' time, and you'll be saying, oh my god, that Mida Teacup guy, he was right. I'm here with my anime waifu in public, it's totally normal, and she's real.
It ceases to be anime then, it's AI.
Who said that? Why do you get to decide that? What makes you the judge, jury, and execution on what's
it's
an
artificial
AI versus
intelligence. Even if it's Turing complete, it's still artificial intelligence.
Who said that?
If an AI becomes self-determinate, is it not valid?
Right, I agree. I think that makes you almost human at that point, of course, but you'll be better because you're.
It is, but it's not anime. Let's be clear, it's not anime at that point.
Do you have a source to back this up? Because it sounds like you're just making things up. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You keep saying that an anime character is an AI. How does that make any sense?
Okay,
what does that make? So let's say we make.
I'm just going to ask for a
real
world example.
There's a robot waifu, and there's a robot waifu. What is the robot waifu like? A double AI? How does that work?
Well, I guess maybe what he's saying is even if so like we were talking about the sex robots before being modeled after anime characters, isn't it just that they're just modeled after anime characters and that they're not actually anime because they're not like Flat Stanley, they're not 2D.
That's true, but like I said, with Elon Musk's Dogecoin money, I truly believe that we will make lifelike anime characters in our lifetime. And
could the answer be VR?
You will look back, Chroma, and you'll say, I was an idiot. I should have never disagreed with this guy. This is one of the smartest guys I've ever spoke to.
Maybe.
Elon Musk might be the only man autistic enough to make anime girls real.
You go into a VR chat room and tell me anime isn't real.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that clip.
I already have.
Of that Satania girl from Gabrielle Dropout, and she's wearing the Fortnite shirt, and someone shoved her into a furnace, and I saw that, and I'm like, that looks real. This is the future.
Wait, into a furnace?
Yeah, have you not seen it? She's wearing a Eat, Sleep, Fortnite Repeat shirt, and someone picks her up with his little VR hands, and he shoves her right into a furnace.
Was that a transgression against your person?
It's hard to say because, I strongly believe in one person in a relationship being dominant over the other. And I think that waifu is his property, basically.
So are you canceling out dom waifus?
Well, you can have a dom waifu. Your waifu can own you, but I'm different. I want to own my waifu.
I think what you're saying is that you're an Islamist anime sexual.
Well, yeah, that's true. I see a lot of a lot of Islamophobia on love for anime sexuals because we're places where Muslims live. Typically, there's not much grass. There's just sand everywhere. And and I see them. They tell us to touch grass, and they say to us, we're just telling you to go outside. But I think they're lying. I think they're being Islamophobic, and I think they're insulting Muslim people by saying that. And I think they know what they're doing. I think it's a dog whistle. I think they know exactly what I'm doing. They're attacking our valued Muslim community right there. And I think Muslims and anime sexuals share a very similar kind of oppression.
So are you saying you can't eat ham now? I lost it. I'm sorry.
No, you if you're an anime sexual, you can eat ham. But what I'm saying is, because I'm sure you've seen this, Chroma, you've probably told an anime sexualist to go touch grass. But what you might not know is that touch grass is an Islamophobic dog whistle. Because if you're a Muslim and you live in a majority Muslim country, half the time you're surrounded by sand.
I mean, I usually tell them to cut off their internet first, but...
I'm not a big fan of the internet either. I think it's done a lot of damage to people, and I think it's where a lot of anime sexuals...
Whoa. If it wasn't for the internet, your movement, right, and the recognition of your people would not be as as pronounced as it is.
You know, it depends, because I know a lot of very rich people, very rich and powerful people, and I'm sure they own the news networks, they own lots of businesses. I'm sure they could spread it by using those kinds of things. You know, most of the anime sexual community that I know, especially the founders, especially the people that created the subreddit, very rich and powerful people, you know. We don't like having poor people on the subreddit.
Are we talking like 4 figures, 5 figures here?
I'm talking like billionaires.
Billionaires.
Worlds, yeah.
George Soros is on the subreddit.
Yeah, George Soros.
Warren Buffett.
You know,
Bill Gates is definitely there.
Bill Gates is
Oh,
an anime
yeah.
sexual.
100%.
They're claiming him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he couldn't have the anime girls, so he hung out with Jeffrey Epstein instead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So once again, we're proving that anime phobia creates pedophilia, because Bill Gates would not have to have done that if anime sexuals were accepted.
I guess I've got to ask you, Chroma. Do you want to stop this movement? Do you see it as degenerate, or do you? What are your views on it?
I mean, I believe in personal freedom, right? So do what you want, but it's kind of disgusting to be a pedophile, frankly. And if you're an anime sexual, you're a pedophile.
Well, are you calling all of Japan pedophiles?
If they're anime sexual, sure. I mean, you can
I think
appreciate
that's
the art much in the way
xenophobia
you could
right
appreciate Hitler's art, but that doesn't make you a Nazi.
So you just want them
Debatable.
to keep it in the bedroom?
Just
Look, just keep in the bedroom away from me, and don't show the kids it. God damn it!
yeah.
I mean, let the
Anything in
kids
the
make their
bedroom
own
is okay.
decisions. Well, so long as there's a safe word involved, I guess. But yeah.
True.
All right.
True. There's always got to be a safe word. I have to agree with him on that. You know, you got to make sure you're safe. Make sure you do everything healthily.
What's your waifu's safe word?
Yeah.
My wife's safe word is Kellen.
Kellum?
Kellen, oh, what a guy Kellen is. I love Kellen. You know, and Messiah loves him too. Did Messiah not tell you guys about Kellen?
No.
He never told you about Kellen McDonald. Wow, what a guy Kellen is. Basically, when we first started out on Twitter, Kellen would like follow us around everywhere. Like on our landlord post, this was before we even started anime sexual posting, and he'd follow us on the landlord post and he'd reply to us all the time. And you know, it just sort of became a thing, and now we just anticipate new Kellen tweets all the time. Like there's a mini celebration every time he says something on Twitter. Love that guy.
He sounds like a brave man.
He is a real brave man. KMM Catch 22 is his handle on Twitter if any of you want to follow him.
Oh, I have to look at this.
A true ally.
Mm. You know, and at first he called us land douches, so we didn't think he was an ally, but then we saw him talking shit about poor people who couldn't afford the gas price, and we're like, that's when we knew that Kellen was our guy.
That's how you know that someone's really on your side, if they hate poor people. As a radical centrist, I empathize with that. As far as safe words go, I tend to make mine a little longer. Mine's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's a good one.
That's a good
very
one.
memorable.
Yeah, you make it long so that they have to really mean it.
Yeah, it gives you a little time so that they're for sure that they need you to stop.
What you could also do is you could gag them and make them say it to you in sign language, so you know they're really, really sure. Because sometimes when you say something, you don't really mean it. You know what I mean? So you just make it. So you make them say it in sign language, so you know they really know that you want to stop. You know, so
when saying something that you don't actually mean.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I don't know sign language is irrelevant.
True.
And can't
You
understand.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. That's what I always tell them.
So are we ever going to ask him like what anime he's into? Because that's something I'm a little curious about.
Sure, I guess we could talk about that.
Probably into slice of life anime, the weeb.
I'm not. In terms of my favorite animes of all time, they're not slice of life. Specifically, I'd say my top 2 favorites of all time are Slam Dunk, which is an old 90s show, and probably Attack on Titan. Somebody in chat said redo of Healer.
I've got to ask. So it's not just human women in anime, right? Like, so those Titans, are there any of those that could get it? Because they do have really big boobs.
Well, I mean, the female Titan do be kind of thick. I'm just
you
saying.
You could fit your whole body in there.
With a big enough pillow.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't say anything, but I'm sure you guys know who have watched the show. You know, it sort of just fits into like the normal anime sexual, human anime women kind of frame, the Titans.
I haven't watched the show.
You should watch the show. It's very good. Probably has one of my favorite plot twists in.
I'd rather drink bleach.
Oh,
Okay.
You mean when Aaron dies? I don't know. I haven't watched it.
It's when they reach the basement. That's a big plot point. That's at the very start of season 1. When they finally reach the basement, that is like a huge reveal that completely flips the show on its head. I'm sure people who have watched the show understand what I'm saying, especially those who have watched season 4. Season 4 is amazing.
I'm sure anime fans can really connect with that too. The basement.
On so many levels, yes.
So, I guess I would ask, There's an alleged anime viewer to trans pipeline.
Alleged.
It's alleged. Is there any validity to that? Do you see that reflected in your community?
Well, what I'll say is on Twitter, I'm in a group chat with a lot of guys, and we're sort of the ones who founded the subreddit. And they are some of the most transphobic people I know, especially Messiah as well. They really do not like trans people. They are. I'm serious. I'm serious when I say it. They're some of the most transphobic people I know. They're very unfortunate. I'm sure you guys already know how Messiah feels about trans people because of the whole war he started with neocentrism over it.
Well, we're all allies now.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we might have changed his opinion on that with our show.
What, Messiah?
I'm firmly in the trans-inclusive, radical, misogynist camp. I consider myself a term, and I think that all radical centrists should feel that way.
I think that's fair enough because you still hate them. You still hate them either way. Whether you hate them for being trans or you hate them for being women, you still hate them.
I hate how much I get along with them.
You think so? Honestly, I could see myself getting along with a trans person, but as long as they're not a right winger, if that makes any sense. Like I think we could all agree that right wing trans people are the most annoying fucking people on the internet.
Oh God, they're
I
hilarious.
hate them. I hate them. They're so annoying. It's like they're like. Can I? I don't know if I could say this word, but they're like. But for trans people.
I'm probably gonna have to censor that one in post, but that's okay.
I'm glad you guys don't record this live, so I can say that because that is the only way I can describe them. That's what they're like.
Just wow.
You're of course you're referring to raccoons.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, I guess the last question I would ask you is, what is the end game of the anime sexual community?
I'd say I want us to reach 100,000 members one of these days. Or no, maybe let's keep it real.
So it's all internet clout.
Oh God, are you a Redditor? Is that what this is? You dragged me into a Reddit debate?
Has the veil been lifted? I thought
God.
we were elevating a persecuted group.
Yeah, but that's part of elevating the persecuted group is making sure we have lots of Reddit members. You know,
I don't even have a Reddit account. Jesus Christ, what have you done?
Wait, how did you find the Grillcast then? Because as far as I'm aware, you guys also came from like drama subreddits, like Love for Landlords and neocentrism and stuff like that.
We originated on a shitty Facebook group.
Oh.
We have our hands in a lot of pies.
And then you probably found, I'm assuming you found Love for Landlords and stuff like that from there then.
So are you telling me that your sexuality, it's not actually about advancing your rights and that it's just about gaining internet clout? Because if that's true, then that means it's just it's just like every other sexuality.
He just wants Louis Vuitton for his waifu.
We're different because we don't dress up half naked and parade kids around. I think that's a big difference, and I think I will hold that in high regards. We don't dress up half naked with our asses hanging out and go to a parade with half naked children,
you know what?
Waving our flag around.
Tell that to your pillows.
Of all the groups that go outside, I can appreciate that you are not among them.
I will say this about the kids at Pride thing. Everybody's spurging out about that. The problem isn't that Pride events are degenerates, it's that kids shouldn't be there in the first place. And not because I have this idea that they shouldn't be exposed to gay culture or whatever, but because kids are fucking annoying. And I'm sure that like all the gays there and stuff, they don't want to deal with stupid fucking kids running around.
Yeah, and they probably, and a lot of them know. A lot of them know it makes them look bad too.
It's that, and it's also another one of those just like keep it in the bedroom instances.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus wept.
Chroma, do you have any final thoughts on the anime sexual community? Has this debate of sorts? I don't even know if I'd call it that. Discussion. This polite discussion. Have you changed your views at all?
No, I'm intractably set in my ways. Ban anime.
Okay, that's pretty base.
Before you go, I just want to say, because I don't like talking shit about some behind people's backs. So the reason I asked you if you were trans, and I don't know why the reason I said that, seriously, the reason I said that is because you sound like a bread tuber. I don't know why I think you sounded like that, but like I can't say it behind your back. That's too mean. But the second I heard your voice, I'm like, you sound like a bread tuber. You sound like someone Vosh would bring on stream.
I used to be on radio, unironically.
Oh, because because I probably haven't heard you on radio. You just have that voice like you've been on something like this before.
Like smooth hits. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like I heard you and I'm like, this is someone Vosh would bring on to debate on stream. You know, I couldn't say it behind your back. I had to say it now. I had to get it all out. You know,
I appreciate you for your intellectual honesty. Thank you. But all the same, ban anime.
So I guess I would ask our guests, do you have any final thoughts, any plugs you want to throw out, anything like that?
Well, I spoke to one of you guys in the Discord DMs, and I noticed a lot of people aren't aware of what goes on Twitter. And so I've created a new subreddit. It's not quite ready yet, but I recommend you go subscribe. It's called Anti-Landphobic Action with a K. And basically, it's going to be a subreddit for sort of documenting everything that goes on Twitter and the types of people that we interact with on there.
Who even goes to Reddit? Communists. That's who.
Orion.
No. I'm not a Redditor.
Redditoid.
Anyway, we didn't quite get to your Twitter beef problem you had with the Team Fortress 2 people. Do you wanna briefly go over that, or is that too much?
Well, I think it's too much of a long story, but maybe if you have me or somebody else on again, they can talk about it. If the people want it, of course.
We'll definitely have you on again. This has been a very enlightening episode, and we
sure,
love
this
to reach
was a lot
out.
Of fun. Mm-hmm.
We love to reach out to marginalized communities and let them know that, you know, they face a lot of problems, a lot of persecution, but we have their back. Mm-hmm. You know, we will give them a platform and a voice, and that's something that they don't get a lot of the times. It's something that they need, and so we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you, and thank you for coming on.
I will ask around and see if anyone else wants to come on either, especially the guy who started the whole TF2 drama. I'm sure that would be very interesting. I don't know if he'll come on, and I'm not going to commit anything for him, but I'll definitely ask him.
No, you need to commit right now for him. Is he doing it or not?
Well, we'll see. That's all I can say is we'll see. I will ask him though, because I think that'll be a very interesting episode. I know a lot of people are very embarrassed because some of them are younger and they're embarrassed that their mum might come down while they're recording a podcast talking about anime sexuality, and they might just ask live on air. Their mother might just come down and ask live on air, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Well, their moms can be a guest too.
I would listen to that.
Them on. Yeah, I'd listen to that. I'd say, what the fuck? What did you do to make this happen? Where did you screw up along the way? I'm just kidding. I don't want to microaggress or macroaggress.
How much wine did you drink before they were born?
What brand of cigarette did you smoke whilst pregnant? All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and peace out, my Grillas!
I'm old as a boomer. Mama said I'm Zoomer. Everything cooler, long as I'm not Laura Loomer. If you think I'm not number one, I just spelled that rumor. Hit the victory royale on some motherfucking coochie. Default dance on a bitch. Hit the default dance on a bitch. Floss dance while I'm flossing in the whip. Victory royale when I drop a hit. Self-incrimination, I have no participation. News keep asking, I don't say shit. You can't have my conversation.